Slaptail squad, assemble.
If you are listening to this, you are a member of the Great Slaptail Nation, my nation. And who am I? I'm the Beef Man, master of the universe, creator of all things great and small, and Lord High Commander of the Great Slaptail Nation Army. And with me today, live from the Uniden, where he's constantly working on his manifesto, is my number 2, the Ronz.
Hey, B-Man, how's it going?
It's going quite well, Ronz, with your little devil over your shoulder there. The little cat man himself from Kiss. It's very disturbing
Yes,
to look at. It is quite disturbing to see, is it not? Ronz, how have you been?
I guess so.
How have you been?
Better days ahead, I'll say that.
Are you excited for this episode, Ronz?
I am always excited for every episode with you.
But are you
B-Man.
extremely excited for this episode where we will be hearing the prowess of your interviewing skills at Pride 2023 in Kalamazoo, Michigan?
Sure. I had a lot of fun.
Are you nervous? Are you nervous at all?
No, actually, I'm not.
Okay.
But we'll see how that turns into.
All right. Well, let's get to it here. Also with us today here in the Beaver Den is the Swan. Say hello, Swan.
Hello, Swan.
Nice job.
Thank you.
Are you excited, Swan, to hear these masterful interviews done by the great and powerful Ronz?
Of course. Definitely excited.
I think he has a real future with Fox News.
He probably does.
Mm-hmm.
He has a future with something.
All right. And also with us today is our own personal pudding pop, such a chocolate, Jumanji.
Good evening, Beefman.
Good evening, Jumanji.
And good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, I'll sassy of you. Good evening, Ronz. Ronz is muted.
He did so well.
Good evening.
Good evening. And Swan.
Or good morning, wherever you may be.
Yes.
Good evening.
Good evening.
All right. Well, let's get right to it. It's very exciting. As many of you know, those of you that participated with Pride Fest this past weekend, and of course with our comedy show on June 1st. Is this June? Yeah, it's June. We did Ronz on the Street, or as we like to also call it, Cringy Moments with Ronz.
Of course.
We're going to get a shirt that says Cringe Not Cry.
Yeah.
I like that.
That'll be what he wears next year. Are you ready to get into this?
Let's do it. I mean, might as well dive right into it.
Yeah, Jumanji, can you set us up? Can you set the stage for the initial interviews? How were you feeling about it? What were your reservations that you had? What were you thinking? How did you think it was going to go?
So my initial thoughts going into it, I knew Ron was going to be a little cringy. That's part of his natural makeup.
Cringy.
We knew going into this space, this is how you were possibly going to show up. So definitely was expecting you to throw some weird questions out there. Definitely expecting you to have moments where you say things that probably shouldn't have said.
Well, first of all, you guys wouldn't let me ask any questions I had come up with.
And that's good, because clearly it was bad enough with what you had.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
We were protecting you, Ronz, because from years of knowing you, trust me, we were protecting you. If we had let you do your own thing, it would have been so much worse.
Sure, we'll go with that.
And at the same time, I was very excited for Ronz to have his first experience with Pride, and happy to be a part of that moment.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
It was a much needed break.
All right, so what we're going to do then is we're going to go ahead and play his first interview. And I don't know, listeners. I don't really know what to say about it. Other than prepare yourself
for themselves. Yeah.
Yes, decide for yourselves, because it's gonna get worse. So here we go. The first interview with the Ronz.
All right. Hey, everybody out there, Slaptail Squad.
We have the almighty Beef Man with me, and of course, Tromande, or Jumanji, as you may know him, the Ronz. And I got a question. David here, top or bottom?
Top or bottom? Depends on the day, right?
I would think so, or night.
Yeah, I mean, today we're outside. It's like, what, 90 degrees? Top. I'm too sweaty to be a bottom right now.
So why would the temperature matter?
Again, sweat. I'm a bigger guy, right?
So you wouldn't use nature's lube to speed things along?
It's already
You
getting
know, you've got me
cringy.
thinking now.
I'm sorry, I was told not to talk, so I got to let
Who
you
told
talk.
you not to
all
talk?
right. Well, let's see.
Nobody.
90 degrees outside. I've got a little bit of nature's lube. I'm still gonna say top. I need the airflow, man.
So when you go top,
Yeah.
is it really kind of like over the top, or just kind of, hey, let's go for it?
Oh, hey, let's go for it. All in.
Well, I would hope it would go in. That's why you need lube.
Ugh.
Yeah, in's not usually a problem. It's coming back out. You need the lube for.
Really?
Here's where Ronz is lost.
Being a straight man, I would know this.
Assumption.
Elaborate.
Well, also as a straight man, I've got limited experience here. However,
Way to make an assumption, Ronz.
Okay.
in my limited experience though, and it also might just be, my particular endowment going in, there's you've got that aerodynamicness going in, coming back out.
Shaped like a cone.
Imagine, the same concept as a fish hook. Going in's easy, coming out's a little more difficult.
Explain the fish hook concept, please.
Yeah, that might have been a little too much. We're not talking about a hook here, just for folks' clarity in case y'all know me. Straight and normally formed, but there's not a
Normally formed butt.
well, gosh, I hope so. You'd have to ask my wife.
Heyo. Anyway,
Hmm.
continue with the fish hook. This is interesting.
Terrible.
Ew.
So a fish hook is barbed, right? Goes into a fish's mouth, smooth, can't come back out. We're talking about being on top here. Go in. I don't know what that means.
For those not here that can't see the visual,
Yeah.
the V man is making, I don't know, fisting sounds or fisting.
Yeah, never tried it. That'd be new to me. But it's the same concept, right? When the entry point is larger than the exit point, coming back out is what requires a little bit of lube.
He has a giant head, Ronz. Follow along. He's saying he's got a giant mushroom cap.
Interesting. How would you know that, B-Man?
I'm listening to the man. I'm filling in the blanks.
Does that happen often, David, in being a top or bottom? You have to fill in the blanks?
Yeah, I feel like I'm being listened to now. Finally, thank
Yeah.
you. Right?
No, no shit.
So, Tremonti, you've been part of this. Do you agree with this answer? More like a fish hook?
I don't know. I don't have a hook, so I don't know much about that.
I've got to say, I like the mushroom head analogy a little bit better. It's a little more accurate, but yeah, we can't all have huge mushroom heads, right?
So with the temperature, it's hot today, of course. You're
Oh, what
saying
the
top.
fuck? Seriously?
What would be the certain temperature where you would become a bottom in?
Oh, I've got an answer for you. 68 degrees. Yeah. We're indoors, 68 degrees. I have a nice fan blowing on me. Then, anything goes.
So I'll ask the cringing question. What happens at 69?
Again, sweat.
Interesting. So when you're bottom,
Oh boy.
how do you
Ugh.
prefer to be bottom?
All right. No, it's a great question. Again, we need the cool temperature, right? No sweat. And then again, anything goes. I'm up for anything, man.
You say anything, and the
boy.
mind of our
No.
listeners goes where? So where does anything go at this point?
You lost me,
That's good. Okay.
Common phenomenon, David.
right?
He commonly loses.
Yes.
David, do you have time for one more question for us?
Sure.
Okay.
All right, David. The question is, you prefer an oozer like toothpaste or a shooter like a fire hose?
Oh, a shooter. It's more exciting, first of all, and when the moment happens. There's not a long drawn out ooze, but more of a bam. There it is,
Would you wear safety protection?
on my face or elsewhere.
Up to you, David. This is your question.
Maybe on my face. I like to keep that clean. Anywhere else, no. Again, I want that bam.
Well, it's a natural moisturizer, so I've been told. I mean, being a bottom or a top, you would want that. So I could see that, but you wouldn't want that?
You know, I don't think I'd want to deal with the taste. So it's really just sort of a mouth protection. I think.
So you wouldn't keep your mouth closed during the shooter?
I'm a mouth breather.
Okay. Good answer. I like that. That's a great answer. David, thank you for being part of the Slaptail Squad. And we do have something for you from Swiss Navy. And if I give you the mic, Dave, to hold, don't mouth it. Thank you, Dave.
David, and if you go to our booth, David, and you tell Amethyst you came over here, she has a T-shirt for you.
Do I have to actually come over here first?
Do you have to actually go over there to get it?
Well,
Yeah, she's right over there. Yeah,
I have to tell her I came, though.
Yeah, you do have to.
Well, Dave,
He
if
did.
you did
He
come,
did.
you came already. Use protection, please.
I mean, y'all are just, so freaking great that it's hard not to.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, and that was our first interview.
Yeah, it was.
Ronz, how do
Reflecting
you?
upon that, Ronz? How did that go?
Well, you let's set things up here. One, I didn't get to look at the questions, so
That
I
was
didn't
the
see.
point. Again.
Yeah, I
that was the
realized that.
point.
So I didn't know what I was going to say. I just went with it, and then from all experiences talking outside my natural element, it was okay. How do I keep this going forward? It was a learning experience, of course, as you, B-Man, and you, Jumanji, kept on saying this is how you should react, or this is how you should ask, right? This is what you can say, this is what you can't say. But let's face it, after I made those mistakes, if they were mistakes, they were learning mistakes, you guys would take me aside. Oh, you can't say that. Well, let's face it, you let me say that just for the effect. And then I kind of evolved from there. Sort of like when...
Wait a minute. Did you just say you
Let's
evolved?
watch how he
from
evolves,
there?
folks.
You
I
evolved.
tried to.
Jumanji, if we could, Ron. Okay,
Yeah.
so we've got your take. Let's get the other perspective because Swan wasn't in that interview. She comes later. Swan,
Yeah.
what are your thoughts on this initial interview that the Rons conducted?
He was trying to be Ronz. He was trying to do his normal Ronz thing, but I feel like there may have been like some not understanding or some assumptions that happened, and I feel like that's probably going to be a common theme of his interview tactics. But I mean,
No, I would agree. I mean, you guys let me go in there blind.
Oh, wait, why are you?
if
So
we
first
would
of
have
all,
prepared you,
He's
would
going
you
back to
think
that.
would have been better?
you know
Like,
what?
what would your responses to the, like, all you had to do was read the questions. So would your responses been different to those questions? Like, you don't know what the guy was or the person that you were talking to was going to say. So that's where it was cringy.
What I find
Yeah, I
interesting-
understand what you're saying. The one, Pride Fest was a blast. Let me say that. It was great. I did not expect the level of respect and love from everybody. It was, if you've never gone, people, you should go. I saw a lot of things, and I didn't hear one
That's what you call
discouraging word.
deflecting. This is
What?
deflecting from the actual point of what we're talking about. Yeah,
No.
you can give all your hurrahs and everything to Pride later.
Well, no. It kind
What
of
we're
leads
trying
into
to say
that.
is you're trying to make it sound like to the audience that you didn't know for months that this was what we were doing. You knew for months that we were going to write questions that you would not see that we would give you. And we told you that we were doing that. So stop acting like to the audience that you were ambushed because you weren't.
Well, first of
You
all,
weren't ambushed.
let's get a couple of things straight. One, I thought I would be participating in the question writing. I really did.
Absolutely not. We can actually go back to other podcasts where we said we were writing the questions, you were not
Yeah,
writing the questions.
I realize
and we've
that.
even texted that to you. We've said it millions of times.
I realize that.
You were told you were not writing the questions. So why do you keep acting like you
Well,
didn't know anything
maybe
about
I
the
wanted to write a
process?
question or two.
And we
Anger
told you
part
I learned how to
4.
write.
We
Anger
told you
part
no.
4.
We told
Anger
you no.
podcast part 4.
Moving on to the next
Moving on.
interview. Jumanji, how did you think that went?
Ron just wanted to write some questions, guys.
Jesus, seriously.
So,
Actually, just wants to act like he was ambushed, and he was not.
Okay, so I think for
Let
the
Jumanji
next,
talk.
I will,
Let
but
Jumanji
okay,
talk.
okay.
So I wonder if Ron's maybe needed us to give him very specific instructions on what to do after a question is asked. Like, okay, only ask one follow-up question. Either we pull another card after that, or we end the interview.
Yeah. I think that would have been great, but I should say, however, the way it was going, it went okay.
He
I guess.
evolved. He evolved.
Yeah, I evolved.
Just remember, he evolved. Let's move on to our second interview.
So I want to say something real quick before.
We got a lot of interviews.
I
but
know
go ahead,
we
Swan.
can, but for next time, next podcast, I want you, Ronz, to come up with 3 questions that you would have asked. So you write those down and we'll pretend like you got to ask 3 questions. So we want to know what those were.
Okay,
So
great.
just
Let's
put
move
those
on.
down for
Here's our
time.
next interview. We have a lot of interviews to get through. Here we
Okay.
go. Here's our next interview.
Yes, all right, cool. The consenting has been given, which is really cool for here because we are at Pride Fest, Kalamazoo Pride.
Creepy.
I
That was a
almost
creepy
said
thing to say, by the
2003.
way.
This is 2023.
I don't think it was.
Right, so good. And before we do that, who are you?
I'm Justin Mendoza, Vice Chair of the Kalamazoo County Dems.
Wow. We didn't need your last name, but okay. All right, you give me those? All right, so here we go, Dave. Justin, sorry. When did you lose your virginity?
That would be when I was 17.
Follow up. When did you lose your ass virginity?
In college. Anyway.
Elaborate. Who came on to who?
Ooh, that's great. Unfortunately, it was a friend I met in class.
Do we know them? Are they from camp in summer camp in Canada?
Not summer camp in Canada. Fascinating.
So, follow up onto that one because we don't know where this guy's at. Would you make out with someone in a porta potty?
In a porta potty. If it's clean, I'm down.
How clean?
It's a porta potty, so it only needs to be like a 3 out of 10. Yeah.
I just have a quick question. When you say how clean, do you mean the person or the porta potty?
Fair. I was thinking about the porta potty, but the person needs to be clean. Yeah.
Thank you for clarifying.
So, if you're going to do this with a person, are you a top or bottom?
Ooh, unfortunately, as a bisexual and a verse, I don't know. It all.
So, with your first experience, were you a top or bottom?
First experience with a man, I was a bottom.
So, let's go back to the porta potty. Would you be a top or bottom in the porta potty?
Oh, it's much safer to be the bottom in the porta potty.
And why so?
Honestly, I don't know. Just felt right.
So, there you have it. If you're looking, Justin, are you currently single or seeing somebody?
I'm married.
Married. So would you consider this a fantasy if we gave you this card? And would you act it out with your married spouse?
Absolutely not.
Why is that? You want to keep the magic alive.
Yeah. We found
probably
cleaner
why.
bathrooms, so that's the reason.
Okay. Justin, we thank you for being a good sport with us. We do have something for you from SwissNavy.com, Swiss Navy Lube, and the Slaptail Squad, right? You got Tremonde, or known as Jumanji, the Ronz, and the Beeve Man. And once again, Justin, thank you for coming out and having fun with us.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys. It's great.
Great. Yes, you.
All right. For some reason, Ron thinks he's on the 8 o'clock news. He has to keep saying it every time. I don't know. Whatever. That's fine. How do you think that one went, Ron?
Getting a little bit more of a feel for it, understanding it. I would like to think so.
This is his big moment.
Yeah, that's my big moment.
He's getting more of a feel for it. This is great. Already his second interview, and he is just improved.
I am a pro. Yeah, my second interview, I am a pro.
Incrementally, he has just improved. He's just amazing. Swan, what did you think of that interview?
I mean, I will give him a slight improvement because he didn't rehash the same question 47 times. I mean, he did change it slightly. It got a little cringy, but it's okay. I mean,
I'm
Yeah.
still confused as to why it's more important to be a bottom in a porta potty.
yeah,
I was lost on that one. I feel like it would be better.
I wouldn't want to be the bottom in a porta potty.
I think it's more of
I
a
don't think
preference as we found out.
I don't think it would be either. He just generalized
Yes,
that was
he
more of his
did.
preference.
Or she
No,
did.
not mine. In
Justin's.
general.
Right, but
yeah,
you
you said
But you just
generalized.
You
assumed.
just assume that. That's fine. It's fine. Let's
Because-
move on. Let's
yeah,
move on. We got a lot of.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Ron, do you think that you've already improved
I'm
by
gonna
leaps
give him
and
a
bounds?
little maybe if he was an F minus, maybe he's now an F.
I'll take
No.
that. I'll take the
don't worry.
slightly
Let's see
improved
how
grade.
much he's improved by this third interview.
Okay.
Shall we?
Shall
Hi,
we?
back with the Slaptail squad.
In case you wondered.
Jumanji or Tremonde, the
Let's-
Beef Man, and of course the Ronz. And I am with
Eric.
and no way, get it. Okay, he's shy. You figured if you were dating, you wouldn't be shy.
Assumed.
Assumption. Another assumption.
Another assumption on the Ronz. Horribly gone wrong. You've read my shirt, you've agreed to this. Here's the question you chose. Speaking of equality, why aren't there glory holes for women?
I mean, there could be. You just got to press it up a little bit further.
Elaborate, sir.
Ooh.
I'm sorry, I should have never called you sir. What do you identify as?
He, she, there.
All right. So could you identify that?
It doesn't matter my gender. But elaborating on a glory hole. So pressing up depends on how you like to refer to a female genitalia. I mean, just press the lips up against a hole. Really just go to town.
Interesting. And have you ever seen a female glory hole?
I don't think they exist.
All right. That's all I got.
Can I ask you a quick question? How about a glory shaft?
Glory shaft?
Yeah, would that work as opposed to a glory hole?
Huh. I guess I would have to see an actual model of it to really be like, yeah, that works. Or I think we should try something a little bit different.
All right, I'll give you my email. We'll do some mock-ups.
That sounds like fun.
That's comedy,
Right,
right
thank
there,
you.
Ronz. That's what. That's
Thank
comedy.
you. And thank you.
That's called being funny, Ronz. That's what that's like. So we've already heard that Ronz has improved by leaps and bounds. Did that truly manifest in this third interview? Ronz, what was your take on this interview?
Nervousness, actually. Nervousness.
I was gonna say it felt like you, or I felt like in the sense that you felt a little awkward there.
I did.
Why did you feel awkward?
Well, as Jumanji pointed out, it was in poor taste, of course, and I didn't realize that. And honestly, I didn't know how to approach people when talking to them. Now, he taught me a phrase, and I think it's a great phrase when dealing with it. It's like, hello, beautiful people. And that's kind of a blanket statement encompassing versus how do you identify as? And
What if they
I didn't
identify as
want
a fish?
Yeah. And I didn't want to offend anybody at this. And talking to them, I figured at some point I would say, you and I have a military background. We say, sir, ma'am. We deal with the public sometimes. And sometimes people get upset when you say that. And I was, kind of like, okay, how, what do you identify as? And I didn't realize that was a very rude question or a very inappropriate question at the time. And I asked,
Did you
Jumanji-
at what point during the day, after being told several times not to ask people that, at what point during the day did it dawn on you not to ask that specific question?
Actually, that's a great question. And it's when Jumanji and I split from you, we were kind of walking around. I said, and we were talking about this, and I said, how do I dress people? Because I'm kind of old school, military and all that, and dealing with public. He says, oh, it's simple. All you do is you go, hello, beautiful people. And lo and behold, we walk by some people, and Jumanji in true form, hello, beautiful people. And they just smiled and lit up, and they're like, I'm like, I'll be damned, that shit works. All right.
Well,
Okay,
that
So
works for
it works for
Jumanji
Jumanji, but
because
it's
he's
not going to work
adorable.
for you. It might not work.
Well,
for
yeah,
Jumanji.
but,
Jumanji, what? Okay, well, Jumanji, then what do you do if they identify as a fish? What if they identify as a bird?
I don't know. I haven't
What
come
if they
across anyone who
identify
identify
as
as
a cat?
animals.
There are lots of
I
people
feel like
who.
you could just say, "Hey, friends, we're all friends." You don't know. You can be a cat, a bird, a dinosaur, whatever. If we're all friends here.
Hmm.
Yeah,
I mean, what
I
would
guess
you
so.
say, Beef Man?
Wouldn't say fucking nothing. Don't fucking talk to me.
Fuck
That's
you,
what I'd
don't talk
say.
to
What
me.
the fuck are you looking at?
Awesome.
Eh? All right. Well, I thought that was a cringy interview personally.
Yeah.
About this time, 2-3 interviews in, there had been gentle reminders from the Beef Man and Jumanji to try and help the Ronz out. Now, Ronz,
I
what's
agree.
the difference between ignorance and stupidity? You like to tell us this all the time. What's the difference? What's the definitions there?
the definition between ignorance and stupidity is ignorance you can learn from. Stupidity is doing the same thing over and over, or that's also the definition of it, insanity.
So if we told you not to do a certain thing over and over again, but you keep doing it, like the first time you're ignorant, correct? But if you keep doing it,
well,
by your
second
own
or third
definition.
time for scientific reasons, but yeah, yeah, I guess so.
He's a slow learner.
Let's get
There
on
we go.
to now. The Ronz has exponentially improved with each interview. Let's move on
Well,
to
I
the
got
next
an
one,
F.
and let's see if he's exponentially improved with this interview. I present to you, Holly.
All right, I'm the Ronz, of course, back with the Slaptail Squad.
Of course.
We're doing on-the-spot interviews, and we have with us who?
Holly Johnson, General Manager of Deja Vu in Kalamazoo.
Oh, I skipped that.
Wow, we got royalty here. And you picked out a question for us to ask you. Would you challenge me in a staring contest?
No.
Oh, well. What if I added whoever wins gets to kiss the other person?
Absolutely not.
Well, next one. Looking at it, can you tell the difference between semen and mucus?
You absolutely can.
Tasting it. Can you tell the difference between semen and mucus?
You absolutely can.
Interesting. Okay, I'll let it go with that. Thank you.
So this one, every other one he wants to
No.
elaborate
All right,
on, but he
care to
didn't want to say.
elaborate?
There you
They're
go.
totally
talking.
different consistencies. And they dry a completely different color.
What color is that?
One is yellow and one is creamy white when they're dry.
She,
Still doesn't know.
yeah, I don't know the difference. So thank you. I mean, I think Amethyst has something for you.
Now, Ronz, why were you so flustered? What was going on there?
Because I was actually trying to let them speak, right? As you said, as we're evolving, I know I speak a lot sometimes, but you're the way you were coaxing me is like keep the questions to a minimum and let them elaborate on the answers.
No. You again, you didn't understand what anybody said to you. You keep saying like we tell you not to talk. No, we keep it rolling, but that doesn't mean you don't get to talk. What we said is keep it rolling.
I was trying to keep it rolling.
You infer stuff totally different every time. And you also, by the way, you scream into the microphone. I had to like lower your voice down, and everybody else talked normally. You scream like a madman.
Well, I apologize. There was a lot of background noise. This is my first. This was my first interview, street interview.
So I think that interview actually went pretty good. Like,
Thank you.
It was quick. We got some laughs out of it, and then we moved on to the next.
Yeah, exactly.
So all we have to do is have strippers around him, and then he'll interview well.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that interview went pretty well. That was not
found
the
your
one that
kink.
that was not the one that I wanted. I believe this is the one that I wanted next. When we actually kept him on track and just doing rapid fire questions, asking for a response instead of saying, "Could you elaborate?" That sort of thing. He did get faster. Okay, so here's the one that I think I'm pretty sure this is the one that made me very uncomfortable. Let's see.
Slaptail Squad here with
case
who
you
am I
wondered.
with now?
Jennifer?
Jennifer, that's your real name, right? Awesome. You picked out 2 questions for us to read to you. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Awesome. I keep throwing the mic in your face. Would you recommend? I'm sorry, I read that wrong. What would you recommend one to do? Let me ask it the way I would. What would you do with an erection in church?
With an erection in church? Why are you in church?
Why do you have an erection?
That's an excellent question since I don't have a penis.
Well, what would you do if you had one?
It depends.
On what?
I'm not sure. That's just the best lawyerly answer I have. You cannot confirm
Or do not? All right. So we'll move on to the next one.
What would you do with someone else's erection in church?
Depends on whose erection it was.
Whoever you want it to be.
I mean, you don't want to waste a good erection. Good answer.
Good answer. All right, I like that. Would you challenge me in a staring contest?
Sure.
Whoever wins gets to kiss the other person.
Do you think my partner might object to the last part?
I'm willing to kiss him.
Okay, you can kiss him.
All right, you ready? 1, 2, 3, go.
Ronz, you blink.
I blink.
You blink. You
All right.
lose. You
So-
have to kiss
Now
him.
you gotta kiss him.
So let me have your hand here, sir. Mwah. There we go. I kissed him. That was good. All right. Thank you. And we have a gift for you.
Yeah, that guy didn't look happy.
No, he
No,
didn't.
he did not. He was like, "What the hell's going on?"
She had to explain to him afterwards what was happening. And then I think he was still mad. But it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, it was all good fun.
Oh, sure. Okay, so that was not the cringy one that I was thinking of. Where is my cringy one? There's a really cringy one. Okay, I can't remember the girl's name. So we're just gonna go on to the next one. Here's a good cringy one. Ronz, you're improving, but we're jumping forward in time. So
Okay.
that's the bad thing because
All
one can
right.
see. So we want to do this
Slaptail
one. Oops,
Squad here with
not that one. We just did that one. How did everybody think that went? Was that better?
I think that one went okay. Yeah.
Yes. Were these questions uncomfortable for you, Rons?
They were in some aspects, yes.
Because you didn't get to pre-read them, or if you would have pre-read
No,
them, would
honestly,
they still be
dealing
cringy?
with you guys, I should know what I'm getting into. I can't claim ignorance or stupidity. It was a good time at all. I should say, let me say this. It was great. If I had to go back and change something, I wouldn't. I mean, let's face it, you guys were really pros at this. I mean, the setup was great. I should have known what I was getting into, even though you mentioned it a couple of million times. I had a great time asking them.
These were pretty mild questions.
Yes. None of these questions were like one to set you up to be disrespectful to anyone.
Well, that's how they received the questions. Let's face it. I didn't want to. I guess when I was talking about this, right, and being my first Pride Fest, I didn't want to try to offend anybody at any level, right? I tried to be as open-minded as I could.
I don't think the questions we gave you were offensive. It's all the stuff in between that you did that was offensive.
The filler responses, like because you were nervous about it, I think,
Yeah,
and didn't know
yeah,
what to
I
say,
understand
made
that.
it.
I understand that.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with having conversations with people about identity and things like that. It just have to be in the right setting and have to be in the right space with that individual as far as the relationship. So, yes.
I think next time, if we can gently remind Ronz with like a ruler or something, we can just like slap his wrist and be like, "No, bad Ronz." Yeah, and that it'll teach him that those are bad responses.
So
Maybe
like
we
a
could
nun
just
in a
bring
Catholic school, right?
Maybe we could just bring Davison with us, and she can have a riding crop and just
Yeah,
whack him one.
that would be great. Yep, and then he would totally just redirect very easily.
Or would he?
No.
No.
He's like,
DK,
oh
listen,
no.
DK Hustle Slut's good. We'll just gotta leave it at that.
All right, let's move on. Hopefully, this is I don't know, but they're all cringy.
You're going to pick a question. The Ron is going to ask you that question. He may ask you a follow-up. Okay. And just speak into the mic. And we'll go from there.
Testing. We're good.
Say he's talking if you want to.
All right, here we are.
Okay.
Pick any card. Oh, that's a good one.
All right, and we're back. The Slaptail Squad with Tremonde, the Beat Man, and of course the Ronz. And we have with us
What time is it?
This is Emma from Lake Effect.
Oh God,
Emma,
this is the
that
awkward
is such
one.
a cool name. You know, if you say it backwards, it doesn't sound the same.
No, it does not.
All right, cool. So your question that you picked out is, do you want to hear about the black hose I used to carry around while I served our country?
You know, honestly, that's very interesting. I would love to hear more about that.
Fantastic. Well, we're ex-military. I'm ex-fuels, served in the Air Force, but more so.
What did you serve for?
I love this, how you switched it on me. I served it for 8. I served it for 8, yes. Right?
My mom was in the Air Force for 14 years, and I come from a huge Air Force family, so.
Congratulations. No. And to all the crayon eaters listening to this is not an offense to you. So, do you really want to hear how I carried around the black hose?
Yeah, let's hear it. Question.
I did indeed.
Yes, you did.
So I would go out there, and there would be these huge aircraft, and I would have to refill them and get this long black hose hard, like the way the B-Man tells me I should. Yeah. So anyway, and that's where it would, and I would hook up to an aircraft and fill it up.
Oh, interesting.
So,
It's really
Warsaw,
not.
let me do a follow-up question. What made you come out tonight?
Tonight, well, we have a lake effect tent right over yonder. We are giving out some free gram cards, kind of just hanging out. We actually are one of the main sponsors of Pride Fest here today. So we're super excited to be here, and I'm glad that we got to talk.
So just a couple of questions here real quick. Are you a top or a bottom here?
As in CEO wise, I would say I'd be on top because that's where I'm going towards. I'm reaching, I got to break the glass ceiling. I'm new to this. I just graduated, so I got to get up there, you know?
You would think that the glass ceiling had been broken already.
You know, it's just very difficult nowadays. We're just losing rights left and right, so might as well just break the ceiling.
Really? Well, okay. I think Tremonde has another question.
Okay.
All right. What's this one?
All right. So this is a follow-up question to someone we asked earlier. Who would you make out with in a porta potty?
Oh, it's got to be somebody just like astronomically attractive. They have to be the most gorgeous individuals. Let's see, who's like my major crush right now? You know what? Dylan O'Brien from Teen Wolf as Styles. Okay, season 3. It's got to be season 3 Styles and beyond. I would absolutely make out with him in a porta potty.
So let's say he's not available. Who's your follow-up?
Who's my follow-up?
Everybody's got a B, right?
It's gotta be. Who is it gonna be? I don't even know.
Let me narrow that down for you. It's one of us three.
One of us three. Well,
The guy with the black hose or the guy that used to carry the black hose?
Oh.
I'm going with none of the above and him.
Yeah.
Here's the worst
And who
part.
that?
My sticker, so I'm going with him.
Yes.
He took my sticker.
Almost like taking your virginity. Well, we do have something for you here. We have something from Swiss Navy.
Oh,
Fucking worst. Fucking worst.
I love that. Wonderful. Ooh, fun.
The B-Man will have some things for you.
All right. What I like to call an after-action review on that one. Ronz, thoughts? How do you feel like that one went?
I think I try to keep it rolling a little too much.
That's it. That's your only takeaway, huh? No, nothing that you might improve on with that one.
Yeah, I'll give that up to you guys because no matter how I go with this, I mean, I tried to keep them talking, and
I wouldn't change a thing, Ronz. Don't change a thing.
okay, I won't change the thing. I think it went great. Am I still at an F, or have I improved, or have I slipped down to an F minus?
I'm pretty sure you're back at an F minus, but I wouldn't change a
Okay.
thing because it wouldn't be cringy if you didn't. If
You wouldn't change a thing.
No.
Jumanji, what would you
What's there?
change? What would you change, Jumanji? What do you think?
Probably just take out that 3-second clip of me possibly taking this person's virginity.
Oh, you don't think that should you found that to be
I mean,
a bit
as
over
an
the top?
editor, you could have edited that out and it wouldn't have been cringy at all.
I could have edited that out, but I felt like it was more important for us to have a valuable lesson and to ask Ronz this very, very important question. Let me ask it very politically, if I may. Ronz,
Yes.
what the fuck were you thinking there with that last statement about the whole taking the virginity thing?
That's a very valid question. I try to keep it rolling on the spontaneous.
And you felt like the go-to
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
how did that even pop up?
the go-to in
Like-
that particular time frame
Exactly. It was just a
to
spontaneous. It was
was
a
to
spontaneous
reference
moment.
the taking of her virginity.
Yeah, it was just a spontaneous.
When it was just that
thing
she
happening.
said that
No, actually,
Jumanji
he was
had
giving
taken-
it away to Tremonde.
that Jumanji
He
had
wasn't taking
taken her
anything.
sticker or her handout, and you instead made references to taking her virginity.
Once again, it was just in the moment. I was trying to keep it going forward and spontaneous. prior to this, watching interviews, right, seeing how people interview people, I noticed that, and you guys clued me in on this. Sometimes you have to have that pause to just let it end. I didn't learn that lesson apparently right there.
Not only did you not learn that lesson,
I
you
guess going
gave-
back to the
you-
ignorance and stupidity, that would be the stupidity moment.
You were like the ultimate warrior jumping off the top rope and dropping an elbow with that whole virginity thing. Like you could have just let it go.
I
You
could
coulda let
have.
it go, but you just
I
threw
could
that
have.
out there.
I could have, and I didn't. You know, I just, that was it. Kept it going.
All right. Well, moving on to the next interview then. Don't worry. You're getting exponentially better with each interview.
I don't know the way I slipped back.
Before we start, I need you to look at the shirt. Okay, apparently you graduated high school. You can read. That's
That was
good.
insulting.
And we have real quick,
Justin.
Amanda.
Amanda. All right, the question you chose. Speaking of quality, why aren't there glory holes for women? So we'll go over to you.
I think it's more logistics.
Yeah, that's all I can like. It's got to be logistics.
Yeah, having to like spread your legs that way and get a position, that's going to be challenging.
It's called queening benches.
That is true. That is true.
Explain what queening benches is. Now you're the first one to come up with that answer, so we got to elaborate.
Why am I the first to come up with that? Okay, so it's a seat with an open hole on top that you can. It serves essentially the same purpose as a glory hole for women.
But it's called queening?
Yeah. Yep. The queen sits on top.
So have you seen one of these?
Yes.
Yes. Have you used one?
No, cannot say I have.
Would you consider using one?
Sure.
There you go. There's your answer.
Okay. And how do we think that went?
I don't think that one was too bad.
Yeah, straight to the point. Let the answers go. Once it ends, it ends. Don't go into it too elaborate.
Ron's like, I did my fucking good work on that one.
Well, I won't say it's my
He
good
didn't
work, but
make assumptions that they were a couple. He didn't do cringy things like he had in other situations. So I think that one went pretty well.
Yeah, no, he just immediately said that, they clearly graduated high school or whatever.
Yeah, that was like the first. Yeah, you can read. Good job, buddy.
well, okay. On that note, really, I try. Most people that once again going into Pride Fest, I just wanted to make sure everybody was in a good place. Kind of. Set
So
the mood
he
for
started out
Don.
with bam, insult.
Don Rickles. It worked for Don Rickles.
You're not Don Rickles.
I realize that. Thank you.
Yeah.
No.
Besides that, he recovered well.
Thank you.
But it was a nice short interview because
It was.
I was by that time I was like, oh, it's just that's it. You're good. Move on.
Move on.
Move on. All right. So you felt pretty good about that one, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we're gonna quickly make you feel bad about yourself. Here we go. Here's the next
What do you
interview.
do
Here we go. Here's his next interview. Well, let's do this.
The B-man has to approve. Well, while they do that, who are you, sir?
My name is Connor, and no, sir, please. I'm non-binary. My pronouns are they, them.
Yeah, there you go. I've always been told don't call anybody by their name. I don't know that yet.
Not
I'm still
name.
new to this.
We just said it just now.
Yes, he did.
We just
did.
reminded him again. So school him.
School me,
him,
school me.
Spank him, whatever you want to do.
That's why it's a learning experience.
Yeah,
Yes,
right.
I don't get out in
Gendered
public.
honorifics are crazy. I do teaching with education for the arts, and the mister, oh my gosh, it drives me nuts. So I tell all the kids to just call me Connor.
Very good. Drives you nuts, huh?
Oh, what? Say that again?
Drives you nuts?
The gendered pronouns or gendered honorifics? Oh yeah. I think honorifics do nothing but separate us and create a hierarchy and all of that. We don't really need most of them.
All right, well, here's the question. Connor? With a C?
With a C.
What would you recommend one do with an erection in church?
In church, I'll go to the bathroom and take care of it.
How?
Oh, well. I would say that if you say 3 Hail Marys, you can probably accomplish what you're looking for.
Looking for? Elaborate. That's a word.
Well, you go into the bathroom, you probably masturbate, right? That's what I would do. I mean, that's how I would deal with spontaneous erections growing up. 7th grade, English class, go to the bathroom.
Okay, fantastic. There we go. Next question. When was the last time you took a hot photo of yourself?
Oh my gosh, been a couple months. I don't take many. Heard. I get ya. It is warm out.
Well, I was referring to the festival here. No one's taking a picture with you?
A few people have, yeah. So I guess today.
Would you take one with me?
Sure, of course.
Awesome. Amethyst has some stuff for you, and we'll take that hot photo of you.
Now, now, Jumanji, you were not with us for this particular interview. Let's get your objective opinion on how this particular interview went.
So, in Ron's defense, it's
well, when you start off like that,
with this being his first introduction into this community on this level, it's a lot to take in at one time, and not ever really having to interact with a diverse group of people. I think he was just doing the best he could.
He's doing his very best. When this episode comes out on Sunday, Swan, you really need to post that picture.
I will post the picture of Ron.
He looked very comfortable. He looked very comfortable hanging out with Ron.
They looked very comfortable.
Exactly. They looked very comfortable.
Yeah.
Hanging out with the Rons.
Connor was, it was a cringy moment for sure.
It was.
Sorry, Connor. Thank you for being a great sport.
Yes.
But going back to before I learned beautiful people, most people that we interviewed or talked to off to the side didn't correct. They just accepted whatever you were talking to them about. And halfway through it, I was like, okay, I didn't know how to identify people.
By the name they gave you. This was why we asked you to ask their name and then just use their name.
Once again, it was a little overwhelming, but, I get it. I get it.
That's okay. Do you know the difference between ignorant...
Apparently not. We'll have to come back to that question.
Apparently not. Now, I'm going to apologize. Here's the next interview, and for some reason, I did not edit this one. So the sound might be a little weird. I'll try to adjust it as we go. For some reason, I thought I edited 2 of them, and somehow I missed them, but here they are.
I'm here with who?
What? Rachel Ray.
Rachel Ray. All right, Rachel, the question you picked out is, have you ever scissored?
Yes, as a joke. Yeah.
Just as a joke?
Yeah, well, you don't really get off that way. I mean, you could use a vibrator, I guess, while scissoring, but yeah.
As a joke. Tell me the joke.
Just being funny and
crafts.
I'm sorry, what?
She likes crafts.
Crafts. Like scissors, get it?
That was adorable. That was smart. Okay.
She was so wasted.
All right, next question. And what is your name?
Bernice.
All right. What would you recommend to with an erection in church?
Go to confession.
Please still take care of it. Don't worry about it.
And how would the priest take care of it?
Oh, boy.
Thank you. We have some gifts for you here.
Oh, yeah. That lady was funny. She kept trying to squirt me with her bubble, her little...
the duck bubble gun.
The duck bubble gun.
She was wasted. It was pretty
She
funny.
was having fun. She was
having a good time, for sure.
Now, that was a very quick interview, and I thought that one went pretty well, but not because of anything the Rons did.
Oh,
they were good responses on their part. They were quick.
Yeah, they were.
Yes. How did you feel like that went, Ronz?
It was good. I did not expect some of the answers that we got back through the entire interview processes or whatever it was. I mean, they threw it back at me, and I was unprepared for some of the answers. So I think when you're interviewing in that and you lose control of the situation, or the question gets flipped on you.
Nobody flipped a question on you.
No, they did.
Nobody flipped a question on you. What example do you have of somebody flipping a question on you?
When
Just
I was
because somebody said you said you were in the Air Force, like, oh, how long do you serve? That's not flipping a question on you. It's a conversation. Who flipped
No, we'll get
how
to
is
the,
anybody flipping on you?
She didn't
when
say,
well,
what would you do with erection in church, Ronz? That would
yeah,
be
and
flipping
honestly,
the question.
yeah. With that said, it wasn't. I was trying to keep the interview about their responses and not what my responses are.
Why is it that you have this weird interpretation of some imaginary
I do.
instructions that we
I
gave
do.
you?
Being a
What were these imaginary instructions that you believe that we gave you?
No, the Mandela effect. Nelson Mandela. No, I thought I had to be a certain way
Did
or do a certain
anybody
thing.
give you
Yeah,
some instructions based off of what you're telling us right now? You were like, "Oh, I was told not to talk." Nobody said that. Nobody said you couldn't talk. Nobody said you couldn't answer a question if they asked you a question. Where did these imaginary instructions come from?
well, it's how when you watch Interviewing Skills.
That's not what I'm asking you. I asked you.
Well, no, would
I
you
asked
let me
you a
get to the
question.
answer?
I asked you a question.
You
Who
want me to
told
get
you
straight
that?
right to the answer?
I want to, yes, because we have this is time. We have 15 interviews to listen to. What point in time do we give you these imaginary instructions that you keep making up?
You're right. You're absolutely right. The way I should have just 2 to 3 minutes. I didn't know how to progress.
Okay, let's move on to what I think was probably my favorite interview. Again, this one wasn't edited. I don't know how, but I missed it. I guess I just had so many of them. Here we go.
Just a little bit.
Perfect. And you're
Yesterday.
Yesterday? Happy birthday.
Yeah.
Oh, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
No, I'm lying, but yeah.
I know I'm lying with you.
Happy birthday anyway.
Yeah.
So this is Ronz. He's
Need
going to
you-
ask you a question.
Need you to read
Yeah.
the shirt?
It's going to be recorded
Yes.
for a podcast.
Yes.
Perfect.
You can't hide the smile like that. Everybody knows.
Oh, well, bless you, bless you.
Bless you.
All right, Ronz, it's a two-parter.
All right.
So read the question.
All right. I'm going to ask you a question. Your name is?
Peaches.
Peaches. Great name. I love that. What is the best pickup line you have heard and that worked on you?
Oh my gosh.
That's it? That's all it took?
That's all it took. Hi, my name is. Hi, my name. Right. Hi, my name is. That's it.
That's it. Okay. What is the worst pickup line you ever heard and did that work?
My mother's in the other room. No, it did not work.
It didn't work?
No.
That's awesome. Oh, and a follow-up. Can I run a couple of pickup lines on you?
Of course.
By the way, these are my own. The B-Man is handing me to me. Okay, here we go. I'm peanut butter, you're jelly. Let's have sex.
No.
Okay.
She's like, no.
Okay. You know what?
If you had said you're peanut butter and I'm a banana, maybe.
Oh, so you have a specific fruit you like. Okay.
Yeah.
You know what winks and fucks like a lion?
No.
Ron Winks here, by the way.
That one would work.
Oh,
that one would have worked. Yeah.
awesome.
Sure, why not?
Right.
Do you like Skittles?
Yes.
I have some in my pants. Would you like to taste the rainbow?
Absolutely. Happy Pride.
That's awesome. Thank you. Amethyst has got some stuff for you.
Oh my goodness, that one I think is my favorite.
Thank you, Peaches.
Yeah, that was
Peaches,
a great-
thank you,
that was
Peaches, and I
great.
hope you're wearing our T-shirt. And I hope you listen to this podcast. That was a great interview.
Yeah, thank you, Peaches.
Now, Ronz, were you
Yes.
excited because you actually got to do the full Skittles pickup line on her?
Sure.
We won't ruin it for later, but were you excited?
I was.
All right. How do you
I,
think
you
that?
know-
How do you think that went?
I think it went great. I mean, I actually got to ask a follow-up question off that you guys didn't hear, right? And it's something that I said,
Why
why
bring it
isn't
up? Why bring it up now?
Oh, okay.
Let him
well,
bring it up. Let him bring it up.
Fine, bring it up.
no, it was to why is there no makeup market for the drag queens?
Dude, how many people are you going to ask that to? They keep telling
Well,
you that
you know,
there
because
is.
I was really
And people keep
interested.
telling you that there is. You like need more proof?
No, they're the ones that told me about it.
But
They
we
actually
told you like
mentioned a
50
specific
times
brand.
before that. And it took him speaking to an actual drag queen to get validation and proof that we weren't
Yeah,
lying to him.
Yeah,
I guess.
So now I guess you will never have to answer that question again, right? Because you got your Or yeah, ask that question again
I
because
got
you
my
got
belt.
your answer
Yeah.
validated.
Right.
I love the way Peaches was so over the top with the answers, and their energy and their happiness was fantastic. Right? You could see how happy they were, and they kind of exuded that, and they transferred all over the place around them. It was great.
All right. Well, moving on. Jumanji, did you have anything to say about that? How did you think that was okay?
I think that it was good. I agree with Ronz. Peaches' energy was fantastic. Like, we needed more Peaches around.
So basically, we all agreed that it had nothing to do with Ronz, is what you're saying.
Peaches for everyone.
When you have a good person that you're interviewing, like, it helps a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah,
totally
fantastic.
agree. Totally agree. All right, now here is the next group. Now, I apologize, people from the Nightmare Realm, because I could not catch your names because you said them so quickly. Pretty sure one of them was Sid and Lolly the Clown?
Lily the clown.
And I don't remember
and
the other.
Sid. And I don't remember the other guy's name.
See if you can catch it when you listen to it. Nightmare Realm folk people, thank you so much for doing this interview with us.
So, Ronz,
yes.
Have you thought of one other questions that you would ask had you were able to write questions other than the makeup one?
Beyond the makeup, I had a couple of them, but now I can't think of them off the top of my head because actually, I kind of dumped them from my memory. When I was talking to Peaches, right, other than the makeup, I mean, going into this thing, the energy, the good times was just great. And I really did have some kind of cringing questions going in. And I honestly, for the life of me, I can't remember. I had talked them over with Little Powder Donut and a few of my friends out there. They're like, "Oh, that's a great question," or "That's kind of like a cringing question." I'm like, "Oh, that's so great." But
all right, I got it. This one, for some reason, is not the edited one. My edited file is not coming up, but so this one, the sound might be a little bit off. But here we go. Let's give it a shot.
Separately, okay?
Okay. Hi, I'm back with Slaptail Squad doing cringy interviews. I'm with
Emerald Bottom Hide.
Great, Bob.
All right, Sid.
Bob too, and
Lily the clown.
I like that. Great. All right, here's the question that was selected. Each one you get to answer. What is the best pickup line you've heard that worked on you? No, you can't mime this.
Oh, we can't mime it. Oh, I had some chick come over, like lick her finger, then like run it down my shirt and goes, "Huh, looks like we got to get you out of those wet clothes."
Good line.
Interesting.
Yeah, that was a good line.
You, sir?
Legitimately, backflipped and said, "I'm gonna flip right onto you," and I'm like, I don't even know what that means, but I dig it. I feel that. I feel it in my heart.
Wow. And you?
Whoever's playing
I
with
just
your mic,
like
stop.
to kill people.
So how is that your best pickup line and that's worked?
If someone will die for me, yes.
Wouldn't we all die for you?
I bet you would.
I know I would. All right. So
Creepy,
the
chubby
follow-up
going.
is, what is the worst pickup line you've heard and did it work? First of all, you have to remove the wet clothes.
I can't say much. Like pretty much any pickup line's worked on me. No, I'm just that type of person.
I love the smell of desperation on you.
I gotta say, the worst one is, I just like to kill people. I've heard that. I'm like, that doesn't work on me. I'm like, this is gross.
You're already dead, you stupid man.
Yeah, but it's weird.
All right. And what about you?
If they tell me I'm beautiful.
That's a bad one?
Yeah, that's a bad one?
Everyone tells me I'm beautiful. Oh,
that's funny.
It's unoriginal.
All right. Can I run a couple of pickup lines on each of you?
Sure. All right. I really wish there was a camera here.
Oh, yeah, right there. All right, here we go. Over to you.
Oh, sure.
I'm peanut butter, you're jelly. Let's have sex.
It says George will take home, but not me. No.
So the threesome's out.
The threesome's out, yeah. But George will, he'll definitely put his banana in your jelly.
His name is Ambrose.
I love this one,
And he
but
had
I was
more
going to save
of
it.
his name
You know
as
what
well.
winks and fucks like a lion?
You.
Very good.
Okay, take the skin off.
Ooh. You know what you can do with the foreskin then. I like that. All right.
You want me to taste the rainbow?
Yes, I do. That's why your hair's so rainbow. That's great. I like that. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, okay. Here we got to get another one. Okay.
Keep going. All right.
This is an obvious question, but we'll ask it anyway. Do you like camping?
If I can kill people.
Do you like camping?
All right, I like something called glamping. It's new. I just woke up and I love it. I love the lamp in the corner. I love the AC on these sweaty bones. It's amazing.
If we either went camping or stayed in a nice hotel, you woke up with a sore asshole, would you say anything?
No, I would just tell everyone I fell down the stairs.
Do you want to go camping?
Sure, you can pinch my tent anytime.
Awesome.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. And we do have a gift for you.
We have a gift for you. You guys can fight over it.
All right. Well, thank you to the Nightmare Realm, folks. I hope you post that video because we haven't seen it. We'd like to see that.
They were pretty cool.
Yeah, they were. They were really cool. And they stayed in character, too. That was great.
What do you mean?
What do I mean? The guy's voice, he didn't break character.
What characters?
Yeah, those are real people, Ronz.
They were.
Wait.
Yeah.
The serial killer
You're
girl.
The worst. You're the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah, she goes out killing people.
Demented
You're the
clown.
worst.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you? It seemed like you kind of got a little chubby there, Ron. Did you work up a chubby from the stuff that she was saying?
No.
I did.
You know, he used to do whore makeup.
Yeah, oh, yeah, that's
Horror
right.
makeup,
He did
not
horror
horror makeup.
You're the one
Big
that said
difference on that
You
word.
said horror makeup.
He did. He said whore. He used to do whore makeup.
Exactly.
Horror.
All right. Well, we're coming to the end here. We've only got a few left. Let's move on over. How are you just getting better, better and better runs? Is that
would be up to you guys.
Okay. Well, let's move
You're
on.
getting
then.
better, Ron.
Thank you.
Getting better.
Thank you.
All right. Well, let's pull up the next one then. Let's see.
So yeah, overall the vibe, like I said before, was great. I didn't know what to expect.
Yep. Here we go.
All right, back with the Slaptail Squad interview.
In case you
I'm
wondered.
with
Matthew Johnson.
Didn't need the last name. Don't have to be egotistical about it. Okay.
Insulting.
I'm an eye doctor. I'm trying to get patients here. Come on.
This will not
You
help.
know it. I'm at LOI here in Battle Creek. Come see me.
This will not help.
No, it won't.
It might.
Hey, I've seen some of the people walk around. Maybe you could do. Okay. So, what is the best pickup line you've heard that worked on you?
Shit.
That worked? Oh shit!
Yes, it really did. It really did. It was no, I really don't even know. It's been too long. I just got a fucking divorce. Like this is all new to me. Can I use language?
You haven't noticed we swore? Okay.
Yeah, no, I didn't notice you swore. So no, no, I don't.
Okay.
I got
Well,
nothing.
All right.
Next one, please.
So, what is the worst pickup line you've heard, and did it work?
The worst pickup line. No, it was. I'm awful with this.
So let me try one out on you.
Yes.
All right. So, really, okay. Here we go. I'm peanut butter, you're jelly. Let's have sex.
That would probably work, actually.
Awesome. Do you like creamy or crunchy?
Oh, definitely crunchy.
All right, good. I like that. You know what? Winks
Jumanji.
and fucks like a lion. You're an eye doctor, so you better get this right.
I know it. I'm like, shit, no. But it's
Look at me.
oh god, that's awesome.
You know, even though I've been married, I have not got a date yet so far.
And we wonder
And
why.
do you like Skittles?
I love to taste the rainbow.
Damn it, everybody.
Why does
They got
everybody
that.
know this?
All right.
one more, last one.
Do you like camping?
Yes.
Do you like staying in a hotel?
Say yes.
Oh. If I'm sorry? If we either went camping or stayed in a hotel and you woke up with a wet asshole, would you say anything?
I'm like, was it good? And can we do it again?
Do you want to go camping?
Absolutely.
Awesome. You know what, Winks? There we go. All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh my. Thoughts?
So that one wasn't too bad. I feel like there were moments when he inserted small comments that were naturally funny, and it worked in those moments. So I think
Did you feel uncomfortable there, Ronz, with those responses?
I
feel
was trying to be more comfortable as the interviews went on. Right? it was definitely an experience. I wouldn't change it for the world. I had a great time.
He wouldn't change it for the world till we get to the very last interview.
Well, I think I know which one this is. So yeah.
Well, this is the last one. We've got a couple more, but this next one is kind of interesting because these two young ladies, young people, actually approached us and asked us to be interviewed. Which I was like, how old are you? And I felt they were too young to be. I was like, oh, you're kind of young to be interviewed, but you are adults. I'll take your word for it.
I noticed the question when you mentioned their age.
And they're 19 and 20, but the one's like, I'm almost 21. I was like, okay, whatever. All right, well, you're asking to be interviewed. So here we go. Thank you to Morgan and Jessica for this interview, which I felt was, well, let's just listen to it. Shall we?
Let's do it.
All right. We're with
who?
Morgan and Jessica.
I'm the Ronz. We're doing the Slaptail Squad on the spot interview. You've consented. You've read the shirt. Here come the questions.
And could you go ahead and say your ages again?
I'm 19.
I'm 20.
All right. We've got it on recording. Okay. What would you recommend one do with an erection in church?
You know, that's a good question. I've never really been to church. Probably. What do you think, Morgan?
I think you should quickly grab a Bible, cover yourself with it, run on out and take care of business.
I would agree with that.
Good answer.
All right. Fair enough. All right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. What is take care of business?
Business, you know, jack off.
You know, say a prayer and.
What prayer would you say?
We're not religious.
Make one up?
God help me? I don't know.
Okay.
So we're throwing this phrase around to indicate masturbation. What do you guys think of pounding the puppy?
Pounding the puppy.
Yeah.
You hate to bring a puppy into something like that. So I don't know how I feel.
It's an honest answer. Nice one.
All right. What about flicking the bean?
Oh, flicking the bean? Yeah, what's wrong with it? What am I supposed to talk about?
We call it mashing the raisin at my house.
Mashing the raisin? I've never heard that one. I've heard flicking the bean though.
Yeah.
All right, we'll move on to the next question then. I like that. Do you prefer an oozer like toothpaste or a shooter like a fire hose?
A shooter, like a fire hose.
I agree with fire hose.
People, if you could see Morgan's face, it lit up. Why is that?
Creepy.
It provides more excitement, you know.
Morgan is deep in thought. Morgan?
I'll just go ahead and agree with that. There's a certain adventure that comes.
Anticipation,
Yeah.
waiting for it.
Yeah, you know it's coming. You're gonna get sprayed.
And you know it's happened when it happens.
Yeah.
So would you prefer a verbal warning?
No. It's all in kind of the mystery of it.
Let it surprise you.
All right. When was the last time you took a hot photo of yourself?
Well, a hot photo, that could be a selfie. What would you consider a hot photo? I think it kind of depends on one's idea of hot photo.
I'll say this, never.
Would you take one with me?
You seem like an all right guy. I might say yes.
You might say yes. What if we said yes?
I'll speak to my lawyer and get back to you. And I'll let
Lawyer,
you know.
I'm going to have to pass on that one.
Oh,
Poor
why
Ron.
would you pass?
No.
Nothing against you.
on,
I
Jumanji.
just,
Unmute yourself so we hear you
everything's
laugh.
against me at this point.
I think you're a little bit old for me,
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh,
We knew
no.
that was
to
coming.
be honest.
It's like an orgasm. You can lie about it occasionally.
Oh, I always lie about it.
Wow. All right. Thank you. We do have some stuff for you.
Oh, boy.
See what happens when we don't rein you in, Ron?
Yeah.
What happens?
I don't know. You tell me.
Like diarrhea of the mouth, just cringy comes out. It just
No, I
happens.
was
It
just trying
comes
to keep
out
it moving
so
forward.
naturally.
Oh, this is the response. He's like, I just keep moving along. Like they needed assistance.
I like
They
butt
seem to have been
sex.
doing pretty well.
Like, I just keep it moving forward. I like butt sex. Like, no, why?
say that.
It's like an orgasm.
It's like an orgasm, right?
What's up with orgasms?
Well, learning
You
from
guys
the
want
B
to
man
see?
through all
You guys
the
want to see how low my balls are? Huh? Huh?
no, learning from the B man through this entire podcast, doing it with him. I've tried to evolve on some of the things on the tips he's given me. Like, one, don't let there be too much of a dead space or dead air. Right? Don't repeat words too often. Right? And I actually maybe I went a little overboard and tried to keep it moving. Kind of keep the dead space to a minimum and try not to use the same words over and over. I'm not saying I was good at it, but I did try.
Do you
So
mind if you had
Beef Man,
you
Beef
had some
Man,
thoughts?
this is your fault, Beef Man.
Yeah,
This
that's
is
what I'm getting. The takeaway so far has been that I'm some sort of dictator, worse than Hitler and Mussolini, apparently.
No.
Because of how I tell him to interview, and then it's I say these things because the B man wants me to keep it moving along. So far it's all been my fault.
I mean, I'd blame it on you too, I guess.
Now here's the next to the last interview of our biggest fan at Pride Fest, I would say. And yes, Ronz, you even managed to insult our biggest fan.
Always.
Let's see how this goes.
Let's see it.
Our next to last interview. Here we go.
Folks. All right, so Ronz is going to ask you a bunch of questions. Just give us your answers.
You can insult me, just don't make me cry.
He
When I
won't-
start to tear up, just
Oh, that's the B-Man specialty. Mine is making you cringe.
cringe.
At least I admit it.
That should be a shirt for you. Cringe. Not
Yeah, cry. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, we should do that.
All right, Ronz,
All
are
right.
you ready?
All right, we're back at the Slaptail Squad, and now we're interviewing
Paula.
with a P, right?
Yes.
Awesome.
The
And you
Q.
had this specific that we cannot make you cry, right?
Exactly.
All right, I will make you cringe, though. And the question that has been selected. I will. That was the swan, by the way. Kinkiest thing you've ever done.
Kinkiest thing I've ever done. I have to think about that. Man, there's so many.
Paula, that is probably the most astounding answer I've heard yet. So, what's your, out of the top 10, pick your top one?
Having sex with my husband in the back seat of his car in his aunt's orchard, and his father came to look for us.
All right, that doesn't sound kinky, but that sounds pretty much normal.
What?
Did he find you?
Yes, but by that time I had my underwear back on.
Awesome. So you had a quickie in an orchard. I like that. Would you recommend apple orchards for quickies?
Oh, absolutely.
Awesome.
I don't really recommend quickies.
Awesome. Paula, so far you're doing great. Here we go.
Yeah,
Here's
she
your
is.
second question. Would you challenge me in a staring contest?
Absolutely.
Whoever wins gets to kiss the other person.
You have to have my husband's permission.
Is he still alive?
That was the
Or
worst
last
question
I checked.
ever.
Is he
Last
here?
I checked.
What the fuck was that question?
Well, then we'll move on to this question. Where's your husband right now?
Midland.
Can I go home with you?
Yeah, my granddaughters are there, but
Well, if I'm going to lose and I have to ask his permission, all right, we'll move on to this question. When was the last time you took a hot photo of yourself?
today
Awesome.
very hot here.
Weather-wise it is. Would you want to take one with me?
Sure.
Awesome. We'll get to that.
Last question.
Last question. So far, your answers have been spot on. I like them, right? Have you ever scissored?
Okay, define that.
All right. It's a lesbian term for sex. When they put the two legs together.
I've done a heterosexual scissor.
We're not defining whether it's gay or straight. So your answer is?
Yes,
Awesome. Did you enjoy yourself with it?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Amethyst has got some stuff for you here.
So much.
We'll get a photo.
Thank you, Paula. Oh boy.
So, in that moment, Ronz was trying to educate Paula to say scissoring is not just for lesbians. Even though he said it's a lesbian term, he was schooling Paula to say, "Hey, you're."
Yeah. Let's see that interview. I have to say this.
He's like, yeah, that's what I was doing.
Yeah, I have to say this. Everybody was on board with being funny. Everybody was open. There wasn't one bad moment there that anybody got too far off insulted or crazy. It was a great time.
Let me ask you this question.
Yes, go ahead.
In what universe did you feel it was appropriate to ask if someone's spouse is still alive?
It was a spur of the moment question, I know.
That was one of the worst questions.
Oh, I'm pretty sure there could have been a lot worse questions.
Oh no,
but
that
you're
was
right.
I believe that is the worst thing that you said the entire day.
No.
I mean, you promised you weren't gonna make her cry. What if her husband was dead?
Yeah, what was your end game on either response, Ronz? I mean,
The
what was
end game was trying to get a kiss from her, I guess.
What the holy fuck?
Because
So
the
if she
staring
was
contest.
dead, you'd be like, "Yep, now we can make out because your husband's
I
dead."
don't know. It was off the top of my head.
So
I
let's just. Ronz doesn't do well under pressure. Clearly.
Well, it was just a spur of the moment interview, of course, and I was
let's
just
try. Let's role play it back.
yes.
Who?
You don't look anything like her, but okay.
Whoever wins gets to kiss the other person. Well, you'd have to ask my husband about that. What's the response? Is your husband here right now? Not, is your husband still alive? Not a great question.
Not a great response. You're right, but hey, I went with it, and it is what it is.
And also, you also insulted our little friend Paula by saying that what she did wasn't kinky.
How is sex
up
in
with
an
that?
orchard kinky?
Because it was 50 years ago. Whatever she was doing was like kinky. Alcohol wasn't allowed back then. Like women was she was 74.
She wasn't alive in the roaring 20s, Swan. I mean,
okay, I know. I'm just telling you.
She wasn't alive during talking about Prohibition when she was 30.
I know.
30 years old during Prohibition, Swan.
Okay, fine.
She wasn't dating Al Capone, Swan.
She might have been.
Well,
I mean, I'm saying women weren't supposed to be out fucking in cars when she was 19 years old.
Okay, well, she still probably would have grown up in the late 60s, early 70s, Swan. It's not like she's freaking ancient.
Okay.
Do you ever stop to think about how old you are?
No, I don't. No, clearly I don't.
I mean, think about it, Swan. When did you grow up? You grew up in the
80s? Yeah, like
so, okay, and she's only 30 years older than you.
Okay, so whatever, 50s, whatever. But anyway, I mean, have you been fucking out in a car, Ronz?
So Paula, what was Christopher Columbus like? That's how old Swan thinks you are.
Yes.
That's a little kinky.
Yeah, I agree. I think here's the funny joke that Paula told me afterwards, by the way.
Yeah.
This was pretty amusing. So she comes up to me and she says, "You should interview my friend here." And I said, "Oh yeah, why is that?" She's like, "Oh, she's younger than I am. She's only 72 or something like that." I was like, "Oh, okay." I think she said 70. I was like, "Okay." And she's like, "Yeah, but she won't answer your question about the kinkiest thing she's done." I was like, "Oh yeah, why not?" She's like, "Because it's illegal in 15 states."
Wow.
Hi-yo!
Ew.
Go, Paula.
That was like a joke, man.
Yeah.
It was a good joke. All right, so Ronz, have you felt that you've gotten exponentially better, or do you feel like by this time you have slipped back into your old ways? How are you feeling going into this very last interview?
I tried to overcompensate. Let's face it, you could hear it during the interviews. I really did. It's I had a lot of fun doing it. Would I change anything? Yeah, I probably would on the pronouns or how I identify, but thanks to Tremonde of schooling me. Did I slip back? Yes, I did. It is what it is. You learn, you move forward, and hopefully if we do this again, I've learned from that. Most likely I'll hear, You didn't learn a damn thing, Ron.
All right, so going into our last interview, how did you feel with this last interview? Before we even start, at the end, how did you feel before this interview? How did you feel after this interview? And then, of course, we're going to let you listen to it.
I don't know which interview it is, so I'll say okay.
Okay, all right then. Here we go then.
Have you read Ronz's shirt and you consent to speaking with him?
I consent.
Thank you. So Ronz is going to ask you a few questions.
Oh, yes,
just
sir.
random. And you're going to give him some answers. Sound good?
That sounds great.
All right.
Answer them any way you want.
All right.
All right, Ronz.
Go ahead.
First question.
All right. This is the Ronz on the Slaptail squad, and we've got
Anyone forgot?
who?
Grace Geen.
Grace. All right, Grace. Here we go. Here's the question for you. Kinkiest thing you've ever done?
I was taped up. My tits were taped up, and I was blindfolded, and I didn't know what was going to happen to me, and had a friend do whatever they wanted to me.
I love you.
I know. Everybody does.
Follow up.
Yes.
Okay. How many dicks have you sucked this week?
Oh God. 4?
How about today?
Not any today, but hopefully soon.
All right. Fantastic. Have you ever scissored?
You know they don't really do that, right? That's not a thing. That's just a misnomer that cis people have said to others that said that that's what lesbians do. So no, but I've gone down on a woman.
How far down?
All the way in, bitch.
I love you. You keep saying I know. All right. Would you make out in a porta potty?
I already have.
Who would you make out within a porta potty?
Somebody that I want to kiss or suck their dick.
Okay.
These are great follow-up responses from you, Ronz.
Thank you. Yeah. Speaking of equality,
Yes.
Could be worse.
why aren't there glory holes for women?
Oh, the glory holes are for anybody, I would imagine. It doesn't matter. And it depends on how you identify. Not everybody identifies as a woman.
Okay. Say you identify as a woman, though. Why aren't there glory holes for women?
You mean putting a pussy into a hole and having another woman eat it out? Or do you mean a dick and a woman sucking the dick?
That's a glory hole for a man, but a woman where she would have to cunnilingus, basically.
That's a good question. I don't know. Probably because we're not ashamed to do it. So we do with other people by looking at their faces while we do it.
Oh, yeah. Very good. Very good. I like that.
I think Grace has some questions for the Ronz.
How many dicks have you looked at and got a hard on when you were looking at it?
Oh, that's a good question. I got the. Oh, no. Well, there's the peeve man. Actually, none. Actually, none. I appreciate that.
Backpedal. I did
No.
not see your dick.
None?
None?
You've never looked at porn and got excited. Porn. Have you looked at porn and then saw a dick going into a cunt and then you got excited?
So the reaction behind this. So I love that. That's off the Ron White comedy bit. I like that. No, actually, I haven't. Okay. No, I haven't.
You've never watched porn?
Oh, I watched porn. I just never been excited by the male genitalia.
How do you know? Because what were you getting excited because the cunt was getting fucked or because you liked watching the dick go into the cunt?
No, I was taking plot notes.
Oh, so you can learn how to be a better lover?
Grace, you know me so well.
No, Ronz wants to be a cuck.
Oh, you want to be a cuck? You want to watch me get fucked?
Well, now that you mention it, yeah, that sounds pretty interesting. But I also, like you mentioned, a better lover.
And what does Little Powder Donut think of you?
Oh, you guys are evil. I love that. So yeah, you did your research. Little Powder Donut loves me. Yeah, I like that.
What does she think of your dick?
Oh, you didn't mention dick. You said that. Okay. I think she likes it.
Have you asked her recently?
Oh, Ronz is like.
Actually, given the recent events lately, and I'll allude from that. Not recently.
Yeah. What?
Maybe now's the perfect time for a good fucking Ronz.
Oh, very good. Little Powder Donut.
Not right now.
Thanks, Grace.
You're welcome. Have fun.
Grace, before I sign off, you are one fantastic piece of ass. Thank you.
All right. Let me say a couple things in the defense of Ronz. Let me say a couple things in the defense of Ronz for this one. Number one, we don't want to make generalizations, but scissoring is a thing. Sorry, Grace. People do that. We know that for a fact. So members of the Great Slaptail
Paula's
Nation,
done it.
members of the Great Slaptail Nation, go ahead and email us if you've ever scissored. Swans and I have scissored.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, scissoring is a thing.
Paula's scissored.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
And we had more than we had
have
other
you
people say
scissored?
that.
I have.
Yeah. So there you go.
Ooh, I see this visual. Like, not that I really want to imagine this visual, but it's like scissoring with
Are you making a generalization? He didn't say who whiz Swan.
No, I'm just saying he has an extra part with his scissors.
How do you know? Maybe he scissored with a female.
I'm not.
He does have a kid, you know.
Jumanji has an extra part that I don't have.
Right? It goes somewhere.
It goes somewhere.
Just like when we've scissored, dear, where does it go?
Where does it go?
Where does it go, Swan?
Where does it go? I mean, I guess it could go in a few different places if we were really being serious.
Yes.
So,
school us.
School us. We have a few orifices, Ronz. I'm not sure if you know. A woman has 3 holes.
And the other thing,
continue.
And the other thing in defense of Ronz, I will disagree with this about the magic, the mysticism or the majesty that is the glory hole doesn't have anything to do, I don't think, with shame.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I think it's like the excitement of not knowing what's on the other side of it.
That's the fun part. That's the anonymity. Even if you know the other person, people make up their own goals for their own home use. So,
And I mean, I guess wouldn't the glory hole could be used interchangeably, male or female? I mean, the woman could back up to the penis that's through the hole.
That, again, misses the
Right.
point of the glory hole.
Yes,
The glory hole, by definition, is for the penis to go through the hole for it to be met on something on the other end. Whether that's an asshole, mouth, pussy, hand, whatever. That's why I said, what about a glory shaft?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So if you're receiving on the other end of the glory hole, and I don't think that cunnilingus through the glory hole would work that well for a female.
Probably not.
But I do not 100% agree with her statement about, we're not ashamed to look at each other. That's not the point of the glory hole, in my opinion. And I'm sure that some people feel that way, but mostly it's an excitement of not knowing what's on the other side. That's the whole point. Thoughts?
I guess think about people who may be like DL in whatever aspect that they're exploring, then maybe they're trying to keep from being exposed or found out because But I do see what you're saying as far as not necessarily not wanting to see the other person on the other end.
Anonymity.
Yeah, I don't think it has but what I'm saying is it's not 100% a shame-based thing, which was kind of what was said.
Okay. Yeah.
I just feel like Ronz, you went into battle against a Sherman tank with a BB gun.
No, I agree. She was a force to be reckoned with, and the one thing about all these interviews, by far, she was the one that was most candid with her answers and very open about them. Everybody was open, but she was so more open than anybody else. Her answers.
How do you know that? How do you know that she was more open than anybody else?
You can listen to her in the interview. I mean,
How is everybody else not open?
Maybe
I
not
said
open, but she exuded more confidence in.
Yeah,
her
and that's what I was
answer.
just going to say. Her answers were a lot more confident.
It showed conviction.
Definitely.
Does anybody else want to change their answer about what they meant?
No.
No? Okay. All right. I thought everybody else had good answers. That were some people just had more fun with it than others. That was what I would say.
Yeah. And I think it also comes with experience. Grace has a lot of experience. And so she has more support from her to talk about. But then to hear from someone like Paula say that she did what she did, that's pretty out there too.
Yeah, who knew Columbus back in the day?
Yeah, exactly.
According to Swan. Paula, I don't think you're very old personally.
I love Paula.
You're not that much older than me if you're really thinking about it, and you're not that much older than the Ronz. But according to Swan, you were there with Jesus washing feet.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, well, I think that was fun. Let's see. So in the future, would we have Ronz do it again?
Yes.
That's the big
And
question.
I'm gonna get a ruler so I can smack his hands.
Actually, I would love to do it again. I had a great time. I didn't know what to expect on my level. I had a great time. Overall, the entire energy, as I was discussing, of course, we all agree, everybody was comfortable with everybody else. Now, I think I've never been in a situation where everybody was just comfortable and vibing off of each other. I mean, it was much needed, of course.
Ooh, he said vibing. Like
Yeah.
he's 20. He's 20 years old. He
Like I'm
said
20
vibing.
and listening to and being in the moment, like asking questions, off the mic, which was really cool. Watching Tremonde walk around the crowd and
Jumanji.
asking him questions for me. That was great. And Little Powder Donut had a great time too.
All right. Well, you know that I will say this about that interview with Grace Ronz. You know how she knew that name, right? We didn't tell her that. She listens to the podcast, you ding dong.
I never once questioned what she knew or didn't know.
No, you made it sound like we set you up. Like we're the ones who gave her that info. She listens to the podcast. That's why she knew.
Okay.
She's fans of the Ronz and the Little Powder Donut.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. Well, I think that it was fun. And I would like to once again thank all the people who joined us for these cringy moments with, Ronz on the street, also known as cringy, also known as cringy moments with Ronz.
Of course.
And what did you keep calling it over and over again? You made up your own thing for it? On the
can't
spot
remember.
interviews. You kept calling it that. I'm like, who told you that was the fucking name of it? Stop making up your own shit.
It's Ronz's podcast. Jeez.
Yeah, I know. Apparently it is. I heard that all day when I was at the table about how, oh, it's my podcast. Or it's, oh, this is my podcast. Oh, this is my podcast. I'm like, really? I'm pretty sure it's my fucking podcast.
It
I've
is.
been hearing from the Swans a lot lately, too. I've been hearing how it's her fucking podcast.
It is.
It's interesting. If you motherfuckers think it's your fucking podcast, maybe you should start fucking editing. Maybe you should start fucking setting this shit up. Maybe you should learn how to market.
Maybe you
should shut the fuck up.
Anyway, thank you to all of our interview participants. You all did great and were great sports.
Of course.
Putting up with us. Hope you guys had a great time at Pride.
Just fucking said that.
Shut up.
Let's
I
not
wanted
forget,
to speak for myself.
Let's not forget Mike Cateo coming out and sitting with us. All right, there's that silence.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
Crickets.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, crickets. You guys. I mean, he was a trooper.
Why? Why do you say that? Like we all weren't troopers? It was hot as balls out there.
Here's
Yeah, let's
you know what
take
here,
away
here's
from,
what
that.
you know
Anyway,
what
yeah.
sucks. You know what sucks about Pride Fest this year?
What's that?
What sucks about Pride Fest?
I didn't get to walk around inside the actual vendor area at all, except for the one time we went and did that one interview. I didn't walk around like you guys did.
I didn't get to walk around much at all either.
Yeah, so I missed out on all the cool stuff on the inner sanctum.
Oh.
But oh well, it's fine. We did our thing.
We did.
Got some new followers. Listen to the Slaptail Squad. Listen and share. All right. Well, that's it for me, the Beef Man. I just want to say shout out to our good buddy, JD Hutchins of the Monsters Lair, the Dark Lord of Browntown. Check him out. And of course, also, apparently the boy has started to stream on Twitch again. So you can check him out. Skylar Creates on Twitch TV. And that's it for me, the Beef Man. Adios. Amuch fuckos. Actually, one more thing. Thank you to our comedians who came out on June 1st for our show. That would be Marcus Cusick. You can catch him in the Grand Rapids area and all over Michigan. Richard Mathis, same thing. Freaking hilarious. And Carl Sobel, same. These guys are doing shows all the time. Very, very funny. And of course, thank you to our headliner, Mike Teo. Adios, Mitch Fuckos.
Bye from the Swan.
Deuces.
Shout out to Megan, RJ, Little Powder Donut for hanging with us all day that day. That was great. Shout out to the Beef Man himself for putting all this up. That was great. The Swan and everybody else behind the scenes. It was great. Thanks also, on a personal note, this personal time in my life, for everybody who's come out and supported Little Powder Donut and everything that's going on in her life. So, with that said, stay sane, motherfuckers. It's got to get crazy out there.
I don't know how the JJ works.
It's true.